All right, I think we are just about set up for Tooper's run. So yeah, we're gonna do some 14 tally. Following that, we're gonna do some 40 orb with Dact. So I think they are ready to go. I'm gonna give Tooper the floor, and he can do the countdown and start whenever he's ready.
Awesome, thank you, And welcome everyone. Hopefully you've been enjoying Spyrothon 6 so far. I know I just really enjoyed that prototype showcase, so thank you to both Farnia and HWD, as well as everyone who's been putting this together. So today I'm going to be showing you guys 14 Talisman. Before I hop into that, I just want to define the category a little bit, because when you hear 14 Talisman, it's kind of hard to know exactly what that entails. So essentially, I like to refer to this as a legacy category. At one point, this was the game's any percent, but in more recent years, we have found faster ways to beat the game. So we keep this on the leaderboard because, you know, the history of the game, having this as like a way to remember the old any percent. And we also keep it on the board because it definitely is a really good way for beginner runners to get into the game. Now, don't get me wrong, just because it's good for beginner runners, there's still a lot of hard tricks that I'll be doing with you all today. So for 14 Talisman, in order to complete this category, we need to collect every talisman at the end of the level in Autumn Plains and in Summer Forest. On top of that, I'm also going to be going through and beating Ripto and all the bosses. And finally, I'm going to need 400 gems to unlock Zephyr and 400 gems to unlock Shady. Now, in a more beginner route, you would also collect 500 gems to buy Swim, but I'm not going to do that today. I'm doing a more advanced route. I'm not going to buy Swim. And the last two things I want to point out before I begin this run, I'm going to be talking a lot about flame charging. That's essentially, I'm going to flame and then immediately charge after to really abuse the length of the flame. And on top of that, I'm also going to be talking a lot about double jumping. And I'm going to jump in the air, hold down the jump button, and at the top of my height, I'm going to square to get some additional height. That's going to allow me to reach places I wouldn't be able to otherwise. So, with all that in mind, let's get into this. I'm going to start the run in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Okay, so essentially, because we only need 800 gems, right? And those gems are needed for Autumn Plain homeworld levels. In the first half of this game, I'm not really going to be focusing too much at all on gem collection. Instead, what I'll be doing is kind of just booking it to the end of every level, and Glimmer is going to be the first case of that. So here, I also see my first use of a double jump right here. And essentially, that allows us to get onto a piece of scenery that we wouldn't be able to otherwise, and get us to the end of the level. Now, because of that, I'm already in the Talisman room. Usually you would need to collect gems throughout the level, but we're not going to worry about that. We're just booking it. And I already have collected my first Talisman. Now, probably what you noticed there is that I was able to enter the level from out of bounds despite there being a wall there. There's going to be a lot of cases about that, but I'll get more into that later on when we visit that. Right now I want to talk about the strat I'm going to be using at Idle Springs, which is the next level that we're going to be entering. That's called a proxy. Now, what is a proxy? Essentially, in this case, what I'll be doing is I'm going to flame charge one of the fodder in that level, which usually we would use to get health back, but I don't really care about that in this case. I'm just going to flame charge it. I'm going to have Spyro jump into the dead body, and once he's inside the dead body, I'm going to jump again. And then from there, Spyro will get a lot of velocity, and if I do it right, I'll get so much height that we'll do the level in reverse. Not quite enough height, but that's fine. We're going to wait for this dude to open his door for us. I'll get another chance right here. Perfect. Okay, so that's a little bad because I don't get as much gems when I get the second proxy instead of the first one. But what is important is that I do skip having to open a lot of doors. So instead, I just book it to the end of the level. A little short on gems, but I'm going to keep that in mind throughout this run. And I'll be able to adjust to still make it through. And now we're going to go on to Colossus. Now, I know I just mentioned before that there's going to be a lot of cases of lack of collision. I've really tried to find out for this run why this is the case, and I've been met with a couple different answers that kind of all boil down to the fact that this is a PS1 game, and I guess it's like a lack of memory space for the hardware. I wish I could explain it better, but I really am not too confident on that. But essentially what I'm going to do here is I'm going to use the double jump to get on top of this wall right here. And then from there I'm going to do a charge jump into a very specific area of the wall where there's absolutely no collision. And I just jump through a couple walls there. So essentially, instead of waiting for the animation to go through of that door opening, I just jump right through that wall. And that's fast, and we like fast. And then, just as I'm going to be doing in every level, we just book it to the end. Now this is a little bit of a cycle-based thing right here. It's possible that you get the Yeti yelling twice or once, and it really just depends on when you enter that room. In that case, I kind of caught him at the tail end of one yell, so it's a little fast. If you time the level correctly, you could get a good cycle, and I guess I did it well enough there. And now we're on to Hercos. Now, trying to get to Hercos, usually you would have to buy swim. We don't do that. Buying a lot of 500 gems to be exact, to buy swim at this point is really slow. So I'm going to try and do another proxy in which I jump on this frog's head and kind of use him like he's a trampoline. Ooh, I got it. Let's go. That one's really hard for me. So, and there's another wall right there that does not have any collision, so I'm just going to jump around. Now we do not need to buy swim, because, well, just bypassed all that water. And now we're going to go into Hercos, and in Hercos there's a few moving platforms. I'm going to abuse the fact that these move, and I'm going to push Spyro into one of the moving platforms in a corner, and I'm going to turn very specifically when it starts coming out. Now because of that, what's going to happen is I'm going to clip into the inside of the level, and then I'm going to use the same platforms that these moving platforms are on to jump behind the level and get to the end of the level faster. Ooh, I got a weird camera there, but I was able to deal with it pretty well. Here's the second platform I'll be sitting on, and now I'm in the tally room. Perfect, wow, how great. Nothing went wrong there. I've been stressing about that all day. And now we're just going to exit the level. And again, right now we don't really need to worry too much about gems because we don't even need any in Summer Forest at all. So the next proxy I'm going to do is in Sunny Beach, which is our next level. This is a very frustrating one, not because the proxy is hard to get, but because you need a very, very big proxy. This is the proxy as to why people buy swim. Because I do not have swim, I cannot complete the level normally. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to flame this turtle here twice, and that's going to put him in a very specific position. From here, I'm going to line myself up right on this wall, based on line up. I'm going to try and charge jump into his eyebrows, and get a really big jump. Oh yes, first try, wow. Let's go. Awesome. And now we're at the end of the level. Usually you would have to push a turtle onto this button. You can just walk off this button and charge. Okay, wait. I could just walk off this button and charge. Great, you didn't see that first one. And get into the final room. Now usually the point of this level is you have to take this turtle's babies to him, but obviously I didn't do that, and it doesn't really matter because no matter what, you get the talisman. That's all we really care about. And then I'm going to exit the level. There's these really cute cutscenes that play, and I'm just going to skip them all. Sick. Now we're on to Aquaria Towers. Yet another proxy. Summer Forest is really detrimental in this category because there's a ton of hard tricks in just about every single level, minus Glimmer and Colossus, and they're all really hard, especially when you're first starting out. I'm gonna jump over this wall and not buy in, which usually would result in a soft lock, but I'll get back to that later. And there's two different proxies I'll have a chance to do in this level. It's gonna be with the sheep, and it's gonna look very similar to the one I did with the beetle proxy in Idle Spring. Alright, I didn't get that one, but that sheep can move in a weird way, so I'm going to use the double jump to get up to this area. Will there be another sheep? I'm going to wait for him to get in a little bit more of a favorable position. Great, dude. Wow. This is like a really good Summer Forest. So you probably noticed I was right by this guy before. And you're probably thinking, well, why didn't I just talk to him to get the talisman? And the answer is, if you don't press that button in the other room, it won't give you the talisman. It's can still talk to him, but he doesn't really do anything after you talk to him. And now we're going to exit the level. So now that I'm exiting the level, I'm now on the inside of a wall that I haven't bought into. So you would think I'm soft locked now, right? And that's not really the case. What happens when you have all 14 talisman is that as soon as I touch the ground here, I'm going to be warped to Allura to fight our first boss, Crush. So we don't even need to worry about buying into that wall, which is really good because collecting gems, generally, it's really slow. We don't want to do that. Oh my god, I feel like I'm talking a lot. Hopefully, I'm getting the information across well, though. So Crush is a really, really boring boss. We have a lot of good strats for him, and that strat literally is just get him onto this spot, this button right here. So he's going to stand here, and I'm going to purposely take damage from him just about every single time, because that's fast. Usually he would try and hit me 1 or 2 times, but if I just take the damage, it's just once, you can get him back onto this button, and he stays here. Same with when the button's red. When the button's red, it shoots out fire. When the button's blue, it shoots out this like energy wave. We like the energy wave because we can jump over it. Now why does that matter? Because in the third phase, what we're gonna do is we're gonna jump over it, flame him, get him off the button just a little bit. Now I'm gonna turn him around so that way he's facing the button again. We'll just walk back in onto it because Crush isn't too smart. And just do the same thing again, but this time I'm gonna get the sheep over here for the sake of having enough life, having to worry. Now, interestingly enough, these rocks don't actually have a hitbox, so you can kind of just stand inside of Crush for that. And now we're in Autumn Plains. Autumn Plains is very interesting because it's actually a very, very technical section of the run. Every level can potentially have a proxy, and they're all equally as hard, if not harder, than the ones I just showed off in Summer Forest. But I'm not a very high-level runner, so I'm going to skip through that today. A lot of what I'm going to be doing is what a lot of beginners would be doing. And the first level comes, that is Crystal Glacier. Crystal Glacier is super duper sick. If you're trying to learn this game, come here and practice your double jumps. Every single double jump you must do really requires that you understand the technique well enough. Especially this first one, which I love to fail, but I didn't. Wow, amazing. Usually you have to go about this level and free these like ice men who are stuck in these like icicle things, but we don't do that. We just use the double jump and knowing where to stand on certain scenery points, be able to get through the level fast, and fast is good. I'm a little under gemmed here, which is fine. I'm just gonna get some things I usually don't. I'm still a little under gemmed, which is a little stressful, but there's enough backups later on where I don't really have to care. Oh, that's another important thing. Turns out the roof of this building, it just doesn't have collision. So instead of activating that animation that would have those people rolling down that giant wall to the hill to get in, we just like jump around it and get on the inside of that building. And then essentially break in. Interestingly enough, no matter what you do, his text is always the same. He'll always say, "Ow, that really hurt," but, you know, he's not really being harmed at all. I just did a fun circle there. That was really cool, Spyro. Thank you. Next, we have our first buy-in, and that is Zephyr. Now, I do have the 400 gems, but I don't really have too many extra. Let's see, after those 11, I'll have exactly 11 left over. That's not too bad. Usually when I do runs, I'm around the 430 mark when I buy into Zephyr, so when I'm inside of Zephyr, I'll be at 30-ish gems. So I will have to make a few minor adjustments, but again, totally fine. Zephyr is very similar to Icy, to Crystal Glacier, because you kind of just abuse the double jump to get out of bounds, and then you rush to the end of the level in the same way as casually. Here I'm going to push Spyro in a very specific spot after I activate this animation. So that way, even if I do get hit by this bird who's carrying a bomb, we'll stay on top of this little thing. A bridge? We'll call it a bridge. Yeah, I like bridge. It's a bridge. And another talisman. We're doing really good here. This is an amazing pace for me. Wow. Something I would like to point out is, in this case, I actually just ran out the door there. So in the other Spyro games, in the other original Spyro games, typically when you want to leave a level, you'll pause the level and then exit level. We don't really do that in Spyro 2, in the shorter categories, too often. Now, why is that? Essentially, the menu in this game is a lot more intricate, so therefore it takes longer to load. So if the portal's right there, even though there's an extra animation of Spyro gliding, it turns out that it's still faster to go through that portal rather than pause and exit. So, occasionally we opt to just run out of that door instead of pausing and exiting like we would in other games. And a good example of that is Scale-Up, because the door is going to turn out to be right there. So I'm going to charge out, and I specifically chose then to bring that up because nothing happens in Skelos. There is a proxy you would be able to do, a cat-bat proxy, but from what I know in the super secret 14 Talisman spreadsheet, I don't even think it saves a full seconds, and I think it loses you gems, so why bother? Now, time for the fun part. The goal says that it makes me do mastless, but I'm going to choose to do mastless on my own because it's sick. Mastless is often seen as a hard trick, but if you know that moving the camera while you hover gives Spyro like a slight additional height cap, if you're near a ledge, it's a little bit easier. I really hope I hit this first try, because if not, people are going to bully me about this forever. Oh god, now I'm nervous. Oh, nope, I still got it, and that was really bad. So as you can see, I was turning the camera and holding up at the same time while I was hovering, and that will give Spyro an additional height cap that makes that trick great. And I want to put emphasis on the free part. I actually probably should have stayed in that level and collected more gems, because I feel like, yeah, I'm under gemmed. So I'm gonna have to improv a little bit. That's fine. Tooper breaking the rules? No, dude, nowhere in that rule does it say I can't do massless if you guys didn't meet that goal. So now I'm gonna do climb skip. Usually you would have to buy the ability to climb, but that's like slow. So there's some parts on these roofs that I can stand on without any issues. So I'm just gonna use the double jump to go through that. That was actually a lot more important to trick. I'm sorry I didn't dedicate more time to that, but it's cool. It saves us a bunch of time collecting gems, and we like that. Scorch is a pretty straightforward level. There is a proxy you could do in this level, but like I was saying, I'm kind of gonna opt out of that, and there has to be somewhere in this level I can get a lot of gems. I'm usually not under gemmed, like ever, so this is a very new to me thing. I could just, oh well, let's do a fun little circle right there. And we're at the end of Scorch. And now we're gonna go into Fracture Hills. Hopefully you guys like bagpipes. Unpopular opinion, I do like the bagpipe music in this game. I don't know why people don't like it. It's nice, it's enjoyable. So essentially there are satyrs throughout this level, 6 of them to be exact, and I'm just gonna book it to each satyr, free them from the stones that they're entrapped in, and they will play a song for me that will break some earth that's surrounding the talisman room that we have to get into, and then I will get the talisman and leave. Sound familiar? Getting talismans and leave? Should sound like the last 15 minutes of this run. So there is some way that you can do some cutscene skips on these satyrs. I only really do one of them because the other ones are hard. Wait a minute. That's bad. This is not good. Wow, what a new issue for me to have at a time like this. Alright, so
What happened?
you tell me. No.
What have you done? You did massless and now
I guess. So, how are we gonna fix this? I don't have any memory cards.
Well, how about this?
I can do. I will rush to crush, and then I will do. There has to be some way around this. This is why we follow the rules.
Actually, hang tight real quick.
Yeah, in the meantime, I'm just gonna rush to crush. You guys get to see any percent again. I think that's the solution here for the time being. Right? Might as well do something. Crush rush and do 14 tally after that. Yeah, I think that's the play here. Dude, that was PB pace for me by like far. Wow. That's unfortunate. All right, let's. Oop.
All right. So do you know gulp skip?
Yes, I do.
Okay. So just beeline and then just resume from there and do gulp skip, I guess, if that's okay.
Sure thing. I'm so sorry. That's never happened to me before.
No worries. Cool. We'll keep it up.
Thank you. All right, so for those of you who didn't see any percent earlier today, I think that was earlier today. I should probably know. I looked at the schedule a lot. We're gonna be doing that right now. So essentially, you could just skip into any boss at any point in time, which is the new routes that I was mentioning in the intro to my run that occur, essentially. Let's see if I can get this twice. No, of course not. I got the Spyrothon back up, which will be fun to explain when we get to that point. Little stressed out now because really I wasn't planning to commentate this type of run, but that's fine. So essentially, if you stand here and flame this button, you just double jump out of bounds, and look! Wow, looky here. This is the entry to Crush. Well, I have gems for Shady. Zando, you bring up a very good point. Well, I have gems for Shady. That's like 400. This is good. This is like bingo. You know, I have to make up a lot of routes. All right, so where can I get 400 gems? There's these 75 there. But then I would have to break the wall. This is getting interesting. Does anyone know? You can't get into Shady early. That's not like a thing. I can figure this out. This is nothing. I'll just like 100% fracture, right? I think that's the play. On the fly. We do it all here at Spyrothon. I don't crash again going in. I hope that's not like a new thing with this disc that just happened. Get 3 orbs in Ocean Speedway? No. Alright, so you just saw me fight Crush a second time. How many gems do I have? Probably don't have any. Why would I collect gems? I probably have like 10. So I'll just, I'll figure it out. We'll grab these. Wow, those were the worst possible gems to grab, like straight up. Now, usually entering Magma Cone, I like to be at around, somewhere between 300 and 330. So that is 166. So 100 and 100. And then there's some other things I can grab. I cannot break the wall. That makes this a little bit more hard. Ready? Yeah. Yeah, Zando. I'm good like that. And before crash again. I have no idea what would cause that, dude. That's a new thing.
Thank you.
Ah, man. If any of you know where I can get a Spyro 2 disc, please let me know, because I guess it's a thing I need now. So where were we? Oh yeah, I'm on PB pace. So I'm gonna be breaking these satyrs to basically get to the end of this level. You can't get into this tally room early. However, if you do get into the tally room early, I don't think you can actually get the talisman. You could talk to the person, but they don't award you the tally. Here I'm going to do a double jump from here and flame while I'm in the air and be able to float while that cutscene plays, which is really nice because it saves a little bit of time. This is on a little, nothing crazy. This is Seder number 5.
It's great.
Let's see. I have 2 spare discs. I think I have a spare disc, but you know what? That issue started happening. Oh, where am I going? Shout out to Alex Desk. He like does something like this, but I don't know what that thing is. 264. I'm gonna have to make that work. 264. 264, and there's 2 10s and a 5. So this will bring me right to 300. So we're fine. We're fine. We're fine. We're fine. We're absolutely fine. There was nothing wrong that happened there. I only lost 6 minutes to PB. That's fine, dude. You need PAL or NTSC? NTSC. PAL is slow. Are you still on PB pace? Unfortunately, losing 6 minutes, that lost me the run. But it's okay. It happens. So from here, we're gonna enter Magma Cone, and in Magma Cone, I have to kill 2 enemies. After killing each enemy, it allows me to get the Super Fly ability in this level, and essentially, I'm gonna get that, and I'm going to do a charge jump-esque thing in the air, which will allow me to get a lot of height, and then from there, we do not need climb. Usually you would need climb to finish this level, but we don't want to do that. That's slow. That activates. It's a little lower than I'd like to be, so I do that. I activate this cutscene without having climb, and then I talk to this guy. How many gems am I short?
Thanks for
My gem. Let's see. It's gonna get this right here, and I should be good. Let's grab these two. $48 to 400. Thank you so much. Unfortunately, I was not looking at chat when you said that, but I appreciate you away, Dave. Shady is an incredibly boring level. That's all I can really say to it. It's an escort mission, in which I help this hippo get to the end of the level. I don't even know why he needs to be there. He just asked to be taken to the end of the level, and I just agree. So we are now in Shady. This level. I'm gonna flame these tree things, and then Hippo's going to eat them, and then he's going to become abnormally large and gain the ability to break through things he usually is not able to break through. Which is great for us. Why these berries do that, I couldn't tell you. There's not really any lore on this that I know of. If someone wants to make up some lore right now in chat, please feel free to do so. Essentially there's some checkpoints that exist for Shady throughout this level. And to do this level fast, you just want to book it to the next checkpoint. You want to kill some enemies along the way because it is possible for him to get caught on enemies. So I am going to try and kill everything I see. I'm on blue sparks, which I generally do not like, but that is fine. This run is very interesting, so it'll have an interesting ending to it as well. And usually after gathering this talisman, we would get warped to Gulp. But don't tell the leaderboard mods this. I don't have all the talismans right now. Why didn't Spyro eat the fruit and then break the doors himself? My response to that is that Spyro is like a dog, and like chocolate's really dope to us, but if you give it to a dog, it just like poops all everywhere. And we don't want Spyro pooping everywhere, you know what I mean? So usually I would get warped to Gulp, which is right down that way, but we're not going to do that. I need to don't tell the mods, but I need to break the rules, which I already did that earlier and saw what happened, so this will be interesting. So in any percent, there's like a wall that exists that you usually break to get over here, but we can use a series of double jumps. Oh my god, I've not done any percent in 6 months, so this is going to be really interesting, guys. This is an experience not only for you, but for me as well. I'm going to get this fairy. I know I need it. I'm basically going to walk into this wall at an oddly specific angle, to which Spyro gets into this weird animation, and then I kind of hope that he just like falls into the floor. As you can tell, I'm not prepared at all to talk about this. I'm going to continue to do this until he drops. I'm going to continue to do this until he drops. And Spyro's just going to drop. What if I did this fast? Is this good? How did I used to do this? Oh, okay, so he drops, and then I charge glide, and then I get out of bounds, and look, there's the entrance to Gulp that we did by collecting 14 Talisman. How wonderful.
Gulp, we've finally.
You got your Gulp and your skip. Actually, a quick rant. Let me explain what's going on in Gulp first. Essentially, there are bombs, barrels, and rockets. Bombs can help me set up for doubles because they take a while to explode and damage Gulp. Rockets are super dope because I can pick up a rocket and then hit him with a barrel. And then barrels just exist to be complemented by either barrels or bombs. I don't know why I didn't hit one of those into him. Oh, look, better setup. Great. One. I probably never have off of that. But yeah, that's that. Back to Gulp Skip. Gulp Skip conceptually gets me very angry because you hear Gulp Skip and you think we're skipping the whole Gulp fight, which would be great. That's not really the case, right? we're skipping into him. It should be called Autumn Plain Skip or Skip into Gulp. But besides that, right now I just want doubles. So let's see, I have a barrel, a rocket. What is this? A rocket. So I'm gonna pick up this rocket, go to this barrel, put this barrel into Gulp, and then hit the rocket. Boom, double. That's fast. We like that. Generally, I want Gulp just outside of the center of the circle. I find this helps spawn the eggs in an area that allow for more doubles. Couldn't really tell you why. I think that's mostly just like how I feel on the inside. I don't know if it's like a true thing. Wow, that didn't happen. So you're gonna see when I get nervous, I get these like tooper gulps in which I try and do things that are fast, and I'm not good enough to do fast things really. So they go wrong. Wow, what a terrible. Let's see what we can do. Oh wow, I got that barely. Okay, that was cool. So that's a really good example of why bombs are kind of okay in this fight, despite them being slow. Is I was able to flame that bomb into him. He walked into me, and then oh wait, I just gonna hit him. And then I was able to set myself up for double. That's great. Wow, I only lost. It's actually kind of crazy all the backtracking I did there, and I didn't even lose like 2 minutes to PB.
I think I've finally come up with a way.
Overestimate. Do not give me that, man. Now we're gonna go into Dragon Shores. That is correct. Dragon Shores. That's the post game. That's usually where you go once you beat the game. But we're just gonna skip into it by doing this penguin proxy. Of course, I screwed that up very badly. So we're gonna try the penguin proxy over here, and if not, there's a backup strat. So there's not too much to worry about. All right, yeah, we're gonna go with the backup strat. Essentially, usually you would have to buy head bash to open the door to that wall. That is slow. So instead, I'm gonna wait. No, I shouldn't break the rules. I was gonna get that orb, but then I remember what happened the last time I broke it. So I have learned. I'm gonna jump on some scenery over here. Jump on this waterfall, and very similar to Spyro 3, it turns out that whenever there's a portal that's locked, it's just stored below the homeworld. So I'm just gonna like fly into that super early. By going around the homeworld, getting underneath it, and going into that portal. And now I'm going to aim to double jump out of bounds here. Wow, first try, of course. Dude, this run was so good. I'm a little upset, just a little. I'm very upset actually. But anyway, I'm gonna double jump over here to get the fireball power up that usually you get for 100%ing the game, but I want it now, so I'm gonna get it now. And now from here, I'm gonna get on this wall right here. I'm gonna get on this wall right here. This is what I feared. They've patched it. What do I do? There we go. And now I'm going to do a technique called a Spyrothon, which is basically I'm going to alternate between charging and gliding in the air to maintain my height for a lot longer than I should be able to. First I have to do this double jump real quick. Let's try it again. Let's try it again. And that allows me to maintain the height. I'm going to get... Okay, that was a little bad. I'm going to get onto the roller coaster section over here to get into the theater. This allows me to watch any cutscene I want in the game, and I'm just going to so happen to choose to be one that's going to play in a couple minutes once I defeat Ripto. But I'm just going to skip it. Now, why do I want to do this, right? Part of that cutscene, you get all your gems back from Moneybags. So therefore, Moneybags is entirely removed from the game, which means that anything that you would need to buy with money, you just now have. So that includes all the speedways that require gems. That includes like the bridge in Glimmer. It's just there now. And most importantly, it includes the ability to swim. It includes the ability to head bash, but hopefully we won't need that. So what I'm going to do is jump into that same area I was before. It turns out there's like a little river down there. So I'm going to essentially try and swim into that river, but outside of the bounds of the level. And then what will happen, I'm very high, is I get the ability to swim in the air, and because there's no bounds, I can basically go wherever I want. That includes passing the 40 orb requirement door straight to the final boss that I've gotten into with 14 Talisman. So now I'm going to defeat Ripto, and remember, I did get that fireball power up before. So essentially what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to walk Ripto into a corner, hitting him with a lot of fireballs, and I'm going to ignore the fact that Hunter's trying to fight Ripto with me by giving me power-ups throughout the level. I'm going to shoot a fireball behind me after getting his health down to 0, so that way I can get an early hit on the next phase. And here I'm going to shoot one in the air to hit Hunter. To hit the phase 3. And in this phase, I generally know where he's going. I'm going to follow him around, depending on my camera angle. So that was really bad. You guys didn't see that. Depending on my camera angle, he will move a little sooner or not as soon. I think it's a camera angle thing. I'm actually not 100% confident on that. But time comes up right here on the last hit. Time comes up here right here on the last hit. I thought I would get the hit early. And we're just gonna say that was a 29. Because that's probably what it would have been without the crash. Assuming I didn't lose those 6 somewhat minutes. Which was so unfortunate. But thank you so much. It was a really great time. Now we get to actually watch the cutscene that we would have watched in the theater. 14 Tally is a really cool category. I just so happen to run a version of the route where I do a lot of high-level technical stuff. If you watch other runs on the leaderboard, a lot of people kind of build their own category here with whatever tricks they feel are most accessible to them. And more importantly, I really recommend you watch the world record for this category, which is currently held by Spyro777. The 3 7s are very important. I don't know why I said them. And he essentially does this thing called Spyrothon into Ripto that's like really sick.
Really sick indeed. It's amazing. It like very, very difficult.
Yeah. He's one of the only people who have a time using that strategy on the leaderboard. It's impressive.
Yeah. Well, Tooper, thank you so much for your run and for being so cooperative even when that crash happened, to be able to adapt. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Hum, for having me.
Sure. Do you have any? Would you like to plug your channel and stuff?
Sure. I stream occasionally on twitch.tv/2%milk, and I mostly do Spider. Hello. I mostly do Spyro. Occasionally, I will play Disney's 101 Dalmatians 2, Patch's London Adventure. But yeah.
Great. Thank you
Also,
again. Oh, go
mastless
ahead.
is free. I just want everyone to know that.
All right. Thank you again, buddy.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that was a very good representation of 14 Tally. Yes, there was some hiccups here and there with that crash, but by and large, Tooper did everything that he would do in 14 Tally and more with the gulp skip, or early gulp, as maybe we should slowly transition into. I don't know. I like it a lot better. I prefer if we would say that, but history's history. We've been saying gulp skip for so dang long. Anyway, we are going to continue with Spyro 2 Ripto's Rage. Coming up with the next run, it's going to be 40 Orb by Dact. And this is similar to how this was. So this is similar to 14 Tally in the sense that this was the any percent at one time. Then we were able to find a skip that allowed us to complete the game in 14 Talismans, which was then able to be skipped to form what is now known as any percent. So 40 Orb is basically the reach the amount of orbs that is genuinely acquired by the game to get. So we'll be seeing a lot of different ways to collect those as quickly as possible and complete the game. So hang tight as we prepare for that next run. We look forward to seeing it.